Welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2018. The public has voted. It's gonna be Shock Luck. I was reading, guys. Shock Luck will be the deck of choice. So if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps out the video and the channel. If you're watching live on Twitch, thanks so much for being here. And first off, huge props to Ross Scotland for coming up with this concept and this deck. I will probably be misplaying a ton, and I hope he watches the video and points out to me what I could do to improve upon it. But essentially, this is a full luck deck where if you get the full luck, you should be unbeatable in a sense. Like, you just deck out your opponent. The nature of this deck is very slow, so it might be that we play just one game in the video or on stream, like a 40 turn game or something like that. But let's move on to explaining the deck really quickly. So the deck is focused on Stoutland. Stoutland, when it's active, its ability Sentinel means your opponent cannot play supporter cards from his or her hand. So no Kuzma to get Stoutland out of the active spot, no N to prevent a deck out scenario. So as long as Stoutland is active, your opponent can only draw item cards or can only play item cards and energy cards and Pokemon. Okay, so that's the first part of the infinite luck, if you will. Next part is Raichu. Raichu's ability Evo Shock. When you play it to evolve a Pikachu, you paralyze whatever is in front immediately. Okay, so the idea is you paralyze the active, and then Stoutland being active means there's no Kuzma to switch out, so that Pokemon is stuck there forever. And then we recycle Raichu through the use of Devolution Spray, and that way we keep an infinite luck, and we deck our opponent that way. How do we keep reusing item cards, you ask? Well, Lillipup from Black and White, a really old card, has the attack Pickup, which allows you to put an item card from your discard pile into your hand. Guess what item card will be picking up? Devolution Spray most of the time. We can accomplish this as well with AZ, and we have like an infinite Lusamine plus AZ combo going to also prevent deck out and things like that. But the whole idea is Pickup allows you to pick up whatever item card you need from your discard pile to keep the luck going until you manage to deck out your opponent. Now we are also using Shining Celebi's Time Recall because it allows each of your evolved Pokemon to use an attack from its previous evolution. So with Shining Celebi in play, we get to use Stoutland. Stoutland gets to use Pickup. We also have Shrine of Memories to be able to do that in case Shining Celebi is turned off, but it won't always be necessary. And then finally we have the 1/1 Alolan Muk. I'm actually unsure why this Alolan Muk was in here. I believe it is to counter Keldeo EX, probably, from doing work. What else could we want to shut off? It also shuts off Comfey, which Comfey prevents you from placing a special condition on an opponent's Pokemon that has a fairy energy attached. So that could be a counter to this deck, but with Alolan Muk, you shut off the Comfey. And then we have two Tapu Lele to help us with our setup. Now, in terms of item cards and supporter cards, we have 4 Professor Juniper as we really want to dig through our deck and set up the Stoutlands. We have 2 Brigette to set up, we have 1 Lysandre, 1 Skyla, 2 Lusamine, 1 Gladion, because we're never going to be taking prizes with this deck. Sometimes we need something like the Celebi or the Counter Catcher or a Pikachu out of the prizes, so that's why we have Gladion. And then we have 1 Cynthia instead of Shona to prevent decking out. And then finally we have 2 AC, which can help us in allowing us to pick up something else, such as a Rescue Stretcher, such as a Super Rod, to put back cards into our deck to not deck out ourselves. You'll see how close we come to decking out ourselves. And we get to pick up that along with keeping up the paralysis luck. And then finally we have 4 Tropical Beach, which as you guys were mentioning in chat, Tropical Beach is a stadium card that's no longer legal in standard. It's a super expensive card and it allows you to draw until you have 7 cards in your hand and then your turn ends. But it's a stadium card so you can keep reusing it every single turn. Your opponent can as well, but if they're using it, that means they're not attacking you. 2 Devolution Spray to be able to reuse the Raichu, 1 Counter Catcher, as we will always be down in prices with this kind of deck, 2 Seekers, the 2 Shrine of Memories I mentioned earlier, and finally the Computer Search is the aspect of choice because we need every little bit of help we can get in order to set up. So let's find what will probably be the one game we will play with this deck, simply because it takes so long to set up and whatnot. So issues with this deck is mostly any deck that has Lycanroc or stand-in Zoroark, because Lycanroc can switch Stoutland from the active to a bench spawn, bring something else up, and that gives supporters for your opponent, so that's really annoying to deal with. And then stand-in Zoroark, of course, you stand in and then you remove the paralysis and then you are able to attack. No Team Rocket's Grunt, because you don't need to like accelerate the decking out. As long as you have the lock going, you should win. You shouldn't need X to like make it happen faster at all. So yeah, that's why no Team Rocket's Grunt. Every space is valuable in this list, and so that's why it isn't there. And no Joel. I have Tropical Beaches in real life, but in Spanish, not in English, and I can't use those in the United States regional tournaments, so they're as good as a worthless piece of paper for now, because there's no expanded tournaments outside of the United States. Well, there are in Europe, I guess. I could use them in Europe, but I don't compete in Europe, so that's not an option. Seismitoad is gonna be very annoying to deal with. Another issue this deck has is definitely item lock. So if my opponent leads off with Seismitoad, locking us down, we will rely heavily on the Raichu to paralyze Seismitoad and therefore prevent him from using Quaking Punch. Now we see we're up against a Zoroark deck, no indication of Rockruff, so potentially we should have an okay match going into this game, but we'll see. We shall see. Oh, we see a turn 1 red card. That's the second turn 1 red card. Okay, but we actually have a decent hand. I'm gonna keep. Ooh, I definitely want to play the Tropical Beach. I think I will Computer Search the Candy and the Energy. Yeah, because the Herdier gets back either the Candy or the Computer Search. So I'm gonna Computer Search for Brigette here, and we need to figure out our prize cards as well, as best as we can. So we see that 1 Lillipup is priced and 1 Herdier is as well. No Pikachus are priced, which is good. We see that Alolan Grimer is priced, but we don't need that this matchup. So that's 3 of our prize cards. We see that 1 Ultra Ball is priced, and what else? 1 Energy is priced, and then something else. But that should be good enough. Yeah, that should be good enough. Okay, so we're gonna Brigette for double Lillipup and the Pikachu. That way if this Pikachu goes down, that's completely fine. And then we shall Tropical Beach for 7 brand new cards. Okay, so we got an okay setup. If we get item locked, it could be an issue. If we don't, oh, my opponent just Tropical Beaches and then passes. Okay, that's really good for us, because we will get the lock going pretty much immediately. Okay, so I'm gonna Herdier for the Computer Search. And then with the Computer Search, I'll get rid of the Brigette and the Muk. And I'll get a Stoutland because I already have Rare Candy Stoutland. Now the issue is gonna be picking up or getting the last energy. That's gonna be a big issue here. Because I'm gonna have to use, I already discarded one energy, I'm gonna use an energy to retreat here. And then we'll Juniper away. See what we get. We got another Lillipup. We did not get a Raichu, which is what we were hoping for. Now my opponent cannot play supporter cards anymore. If I bench the Lillipup, ooh, there's a victory. There we go. So never mind. My opponent realizes he's in quite a bit of trouble with no supporter cards allowed to be played, and so immediately concedes. So there we go. There we go. Captain Magenic, in your country you have like 80% expanded and 20% standard. Really? Where are you from? Where do you play so much expanded? Czech Republic, I believe you told me you were from. Okay, we get to go first here, which is awesome. Strike. Ross came up with his deck and he got 11th place at the last expanded regionals, which was Dallas. Like, he was very close to making top 8, so this is definitely a deck he really enjoys and he's very good at. Obviously the best shot clock player in the world. He didn't know that Tropical Beach finishes his turn, maybe? I don't know. He did play Puzzle to look at the top 3 cards, so it seems like he was dead drawing at that point. And okay, oh, we're up against Greninja. Greninja is a bad matchup for this deck. Greninja is a bad matchup because even if you paralyze him, they can still Giant Water Shuriken. So that's an issue. That's an issue. Slovakia, okay, Slovakia. Oh yeah, you asked me about the Prague tournaments, so that's why I assumed Czech Republic. Okay, so this is an interesting hand. I'm gonna Brigette for another Lillipup, another Pikachu, and then the Shining Celebi, I believe. And then this is interesting. Well, is it? I'm gonna Ultra Ball the 2 Herdiers. Yeah, I'm gonna Ultra Ball the 2 Herdiers for nothing, I believe. I could grab a Stoutland if I'm feeling lucky. I mean, I will be using Tropical Beach for 5. No, I don't think so. I think I'll just leave it like that. And then I will Super Rod. I mean, the fact that he plays Talonflame is gonna be really bad for him. Like, we can actually win because he plays Talonflame. So we're gonna try and lock the Talonflame in the active spot. We got a pretty crazy hand. But not a bad one, by any means. Not a bad one. Yeah, he plays on the slower side of things, but he's a really good player, and he got more than enough wins to make it to day 2 and almost get top 8 at Dallas. Okay, oof, not a great hand for us, actually. Not a great hand for us off of the N. Oof, that Tropical Beach top deck is really bad. Okay, so let's Lillipup here. Let's paralyze the Talonflame. And then we will Tropical Beach for 2 cards. Okay, the Burst Seeker doesn't help us. The Devolution Spray also doesn't help us. So we're in a lot of trouble here. Because we got our hand cluttered with 3 Tropical Beaches and 2 Rare Candies. So we are in quite a bit of trouble. My opponent just passes though. We do have the Lysandre. I feel like I should do this just to use cards from my hand, but I won't be able to Tropical Beach here. We'll see. We'll see how this develops. We need my opponent to play another N here. There's a Frogadier. We're stopping the turn 2 water duplicates. But as long as we can lock down the Talonflame, we should be good. It really should be good. Ooh, my friend chooses to use Tropical Beach. Oof, Professor Juniper. Can we afford to discard this hand? I don't think we have a choice at this point, honestly. We can get back Rare Candies with Lillipup. It's not a big deal. Okay. So that's pretty cool. we are going to... Yeah, I'm gonna get back the Rare Candy, I believe. Will I though? I think it's more important to keep the Talonflame in the active spot right now. So I should have evolved the active Lillipup. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Okay. Well, I can pick up the Devolution Spray, so never mind. Maybe it wasn't a mistake. You can actually pick up that. So, ooh, but do I want to pick up here? Do I want to pick up or do I want a Tropical Beach? I mean, usually these type of decks are not playing. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to pick up. Usually Greninja type of decks don't play Guzma. Usually, maybe my opponent does, maybe he doesn't. Do you think Rotom Bugs can be used? I don't think so. It takes way too much. Okay, there's an N. We'll take that. That's fine. Hopefully we get a better hand off of that N. And we get the Devolution Spray back. We get the Stoutland. We can retreat into Stoutland. If I use AC, I lose the energy. So that's not good. But because I got the Devolution Spray... Okay. So I'm gonna paralyze the Talonflame. And then... I'll definitely evolve here. Do I Juniper away this hand? Maybe. Yeah, I think so. Okay, the other Herdier is pretty good to get here. The energy is also really good to get. Because now I can pick up with Stoutland. Because of Shining Celebi. So yeah, this is pretty good. Do I want to evolve Herdier right now? I mean, we have the lock established, essentially. So we might just end up using pickup for 38 more turns. We might just end up using pickup for 38 turns, but that's fine. That's really fine. Okay, yeah, my opponent just passes. Gonna play the Devolution Spray. Okay, so what I need now is to make sure I don't deck myself out. So I need things like Super Rod. I need things like AZ. So if I do this, I can pick up the Devolution Spray, and then I can just get back the yeah, I think I have to start attaching energy elsewhere so I can use AC, and then I will pick up the Super Rod for now. Yeah, it seems good. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we have this game won, because my opponent can no longer play Guzma. So the Talonflame will always be paralyzed in the active spot. So yeah, it's not the most fun deck to play for sure, but once you have the luck, you essentially can beat anything and everything, which is really, really huge. Really, really huge. And so guys, any issues with the stream, any stuttering, any issues, please let me know. What do you think about Silvally with tools? Maybe try it with Lycanroc. It's just Silvally in extended feels inferior to Zoroark. It's like you have to compare everything with Zoroark, and Silvally doesn't deal as much damage. Zoroark is not hindered by the damage output because it has Sky Field. It one-hit KO Silvally, so the type advantage that Silvally could potentially gain is completely mitigated by the fact that you don't need the memories. And there's a victory, perfect. So my opponent recognizes our strategy, he recognizes that we will win by deck out on him, and at that point all we needed to do was hold on until he had so many cards and we drew all of our cards, and then we would Cynthia, replenish our deck, and keep doing that until we decked him out. So one more game with Shock Lock. They have been quite quick games, which is really good. Could Escape Rope be a problem for this deck? Yeah, Escape Rope is definitely a problem for this deck. The losses that Ross and other Shock Lock players had at Dallas were to decks that had Puzzle of Time, Escape Rope, things like that. Yeah, Switch or Escape Rope are definitely bad cards for this deck. Definitely really bad cards for this deck. So yeah, let's just search for another opponent. Yeah. Wonder why it takes so much time to find an opponent. And we're up against Micromaster. Okay, so we go second, which is fine. We've actually gotten pretty solid setups with this deck. And okay, so this is also a pretty solid setup, I would say. We don't necessarily need the turn 2, like the turn 1 Tropical Beach. We don't need the turn 1 Stoutland and whatnot. Our opponent sends us a heart, so I'm not sure he's aware of what he's up against. But we'll send one back. You're out against it was red card and pray. Yeah. It's like many decks where, like, this is a deck where at most you will see 5 of them at any given tournament. So do you tech for such a deck? I don't think so. So that's why it's always there we go. My opponent gets angry at the fact that I'm using such a deck. Thank you for the follow. Hey Jav. Not too much action happening today. Since we are talking about mill decks, what's a good strategy against Sylveon in Standard? You have to apply as much pressure as possible, but it really depends on which deck you are using against Sylveon. Sylveon is very annoying to deal with. All the metal decks obviously have a very easy time because they can just 1-hit KO. Any Pokemon that accelerates energy is a very good play against Sylveon. Okay, so we are in a little bit of trouble here because of Sudowoodo. I can't bridge it. I'll set up 2 Lillipups. And then, I mean, I assume we're gonna lose a Lillipup next turn. We do have Shining Celebi, which is good. We do have the 3rd Pikachu, which is good. We have 1 Stoutland prized. Oh my gosh. Both Raichus are prized. Both Raichus and the Gladion. Okay. The chances of that happening are so ridiculously low. The chances of that happening are so ridiculously low. I can't even begin to describe how unlucky that is. Double Raichu and Gladion, so we can never paralyze, and therefore we are at the mercy of an opponent. So there we go. There we go. That's how you lose with Shock Lock for sure. You prize both Raichus and you prize the Gladion. That's how you lose. But anyways, guys, I feel like that's enough Shock Lock. I've talked about the strategy. You've seen it in action. I'm sure you can work out the details. So I'm gonna leave it like that. We don't want to play another 40 minutes of an actual game where an opponent makes us play it out. You can also see how you lose with Shock Lock, Escape Rope, Lycanroc, Switch, multiple stand-in Zoroarks, and then prizing to Raichu and a Gladion. So don't go anywhere, guys. Don't go anywhere if you're watching this on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps out the channel. and I'll be right back. But in the meantime, tell me guys, which deck do you want to see? Do you want to see Expanded Sylveon, or do you want to see the Garbodor Toolbox decks, which finally got Tapu Lele promo, although it might be too late for that? So let me know and I'll be right back, okay?